Okay, so good morning, everyone. This is going to be certainly the last one of the yin practice for the earth element, which also incorporate the liver, no, the stomach and spleen organs. Okay, so we're going to go back to the two blocks, have a strap, have a bolster, or if you don't have the bolster, have a blanket or even two actually, because they always tend to be smaller. This way, wrapped up as a little log, you know, and that could do the trick. So I'm actually going to use it to sit on it to start with. And as usual, we sit on the edge of uh, of it. If it was a block, a cushion, you come always and sit on the edge of whatever you support you have. And the intention there is always to have the hips coming a little bit higher than the knees to help us actually to have a more upright, I don't really like the word, but that's what it is, position. And then you're just going to come here. We're going to take the ring finger and thumb fingers together. And this the earth and earth field, it's a mudra. So not so much of a yin practice, but more of a of other type of yoga. But it's really good. So we're going to place thumbs. Good morning, Alexandra. We're going to place thumbs and ring fingers together. Okay, so thumbs and rings finger together, and then we're going to find our seated pose, and we're going to come and simply sit into our body, to our presence. Eyes are closed. I'm just going to come and sit in the back of my head, the back of my heart, the back of my lower back. And I gently, very gently press my seat bone into my support. If you sit it directly on the floor, it's completely okay. You can also press your seat bone on the floor, anchoring them, grounding them into whatever you are seated on. And then just holding on to that earth seal for a minute or two as you come into alignment within yourself. So we've come already, although it's early in the morning, we've come with a lot of background noise, as the noise around us, the noise in our head. Not all noises are bad, that's not what I'm saying. But here we're just going to be in that practice, trying to lessen the noises. And as we lessen the noises, we are opening ourselves to listen to the more subtle noise, opening up to listen to the sensation in the body, releasing the jaws. This is still valid all the time. Softening the tongue, releasing and relaxing the worry lines on the forehead between the eyebrows, releasing the efforting line around the mouth, the one that, when we tighten our teeth and try too hard, softening the neck, opening the throat, and align the shoulder to soften, to drop the load, to let go, and to really come into the present moment. And right now, just right now, we are seated on our mat, connecting to the earth seal. Breathing in and out through the nose. Beautiful. We're going to pick up our left knee. So the left foot is going to come rest on the floor. We're going to do that stomach point that we've done many times now. So base of your knee, 4-finger width. Feel your shin, okay? And then know to come and step out a little bit out of the shin and find a subtle depression, okay? And we're going to be there for about a minute. So trying to hold all the principles we were having in the earth seal, okay, as we do this practice. And breathing into it. And you might choose a circulatory motion or simply pressing the points. And it might be tender, it may not. You can just play around and find it, you know. Breathing in through the nose, releasing really through the mouth if you like, but gentle sigh, not a big ah, you know, or in and out through the nose. Beautiful. And then we're going to release this, come down to your ankle on the same side. So the little bony part of the ankle, more 4 fingers width above the little bone of the ankles. And you're going to find a point just there. Again, and this tends to be quite a tender one. Okay, so it has a beautiful name in English. It's called the 3 feminine mysteries, you know, and that's because we have actually a liver, the kidneys, and the spleen meridian crossing that channel. So pressing here, we're going to be there for a minute here. Reconnecting to your inner peace, to your inner alignment, to your breath as you hold a point. And should that point be tender for you this morning, just breathe into it. Spleen is a very important organ, as once the stomach has distributed the food, the spleen takes the good nutrients and feed the rest of the body through the blood system and the lymphatic system. So it's a really important one. Good. We're almost there. Releasing the jaws and clenching the teeth. Beautiful. And gently releasing this one. Going to be moving on the other side. Same approach. 4 fingers below the knee. Okay, find your shin bone. Okay, and then step out from your shin bone. And you're going to find a little hollow, a little depression, and that's where you're going to place your fingers. So here, circulatory movement or a gentle pressure as you like. And breathe into that space. And this is stomach meridian. And we know the stomach starts the process of all digestive issues, breaking it, breaking the food down, breaking the ideas down. And then starting the distribution process of organizing what's good for me, and that's the good nutrients, and then I'm sending them to the spleen, and what I don't need and what my body doesn't need, and then it sends those unhelpful nutrients to the intestine to start the excretion process. And that's true with our emotions and our thoughts, of course, even with our ideas. Beautiful. And then we're going to release this point. Keep breathing in and out through the nose with a lot of equanimity. And then take your bone, okay, on your ankle, the inside of your ankle, your 4 fingers, and you should find that triple goddess mystery point. There's another name for it in Chinese. Okay, and then find it. And this point obviously might be quite tender. Like I'm saying it because right now on my right leg, I really feel it. And then just holding the connection between the point and your fingers and your sensation, your breath and your intention. Beautiful. And gently releasing all of this, taking a big breath in through the nose and only exhale, either exhaling through the mouth or through the nose as you feel it this morning. And then we're going to move into the first pose, which is the supported bridge, which we've done before. You're going to take a block, not two, a block. Okay, we're going to come onto our back. We're going to lift and raise our pelvis the way we would normally do, supporting bridge. Place the block exactly where we usually place it, which is under our big bone of the pelvis. I'm going to drop my right leg down. I'm going to pick up my left knee. I'm going to open my legs, place my hands on the back of my thigh, and just coming down. We're going to be there for about 2.5 to 3 minutes. And allowing everything to settle down here in a new pose. There is no forcing, there is no clinging. It's all organized so that the body can actually, the skeleton is supporting us. And then we can turn into our breath right away, breathing in and out through the nose. Allowing the ebb and flow of the belly to rise and fall. Really using that beautiful belly diaphragmic breath at its most to send really a lot of oxygen and a lot of movement, gentle movement into the abdominal cavity. Allowing the belly to come in touch with your left thigh, possibly the front of your left thigh. Becoming more and more regular in your breath. And then very gently, we're going to release that leg back. So keep your knee bent and the sole of the feet on the mat. Have your right leg joining the left one. Here we're going simply to swap side. Should you feel like me, I'm going to, so my block was on the flat. I'm going to rise it a little bit to have a bit of a deeper back bend. This is a complete option. You don't have to do it, okay? And then I'm going to grab my right leg, be there for 3 minutes again. Again, once more, allowing the body to organize itself after the movement. And reverting back to your breath here. There is nothing for us to do. The body is doing it all by itself. So step out of your way. And if your breath is nice and smooth, noticing whether you could come towards a 4-part breath by putting a little pause at the end of your inhale, and then later on at the end of your exhale. And that's the 4-part breath is what we're going to work with through the practice, unless you feel like doing something else and exhale through the mouth. Releasing the jaws and just travel within the body, feeling, sensing it. Placing that pause or that breath retention at the end of your inhale. And at the end of your exhale as well. Releasing the jaws once more. Feeling yourself free from any tension. We're going to take a big breath in, a big exhale out through the mouth, and transition to our rebound pose. So if you did like me and have a higher setting, please revert back to a lower setting on your block. Arms can stay on your side. They can rise above your head. In both cases, take your ring fingers and your thumb together, okay? And we're going to be into an earth seal again, coming back to groundedness, coming back to the earth there. And for us, coming back to earth, for me, it means coming back to the depth of your bone, the core of your bone. You need to be there for another 30 seconds. Beautiful. And taking a big breath in, big exhale through the mouth. Once more, big breath in, exhaling through the mouth, and transitioning. So bending both legs. Okay, you're going to remove the block from underneath you. You're going to come and place it on your left hand side. Beautiful. Come and hug your knee. Gentle hugging of the knee to revert back to a natural curve in your spine. And then dropping yourself down to the floor. So you're going to shift your pelvis slightly to the right. So here, let's imagine we're in center on our mat. So I pick my hip and I just slightly go to the right, okay? I lengthen my left leg. My right leg is going to be bent and it's going to come across. Before we start, have your strap ready, your strap or your scarf, okay? And then here we're coming into a twist. So if you want to look at the screen first, what I did here is I just shifted, roll around across, and I'm sit on my block, resting on my block. You can have your legs nice and long for a stronger twist. Okay, so let's start here. And then the other leg, the one that's on the floor, my left leg, I'm going to bend it. Okay, and with my right arm, I'm going to go and grab my foot. If that's not possible, that's where you take your strap up your right foot, and hold the strap instead of holding the foot. And here, this is the cat-tail pose. So twists are really, really good. They're very beneficial to the body. Okay, because they tend to block parts of the body in terms of circulation, the blood system. And then when we come back to uncrossing, they flush out the toxins from those parts that were closed. Okay, so we're here holding our cat tail and breathing again, big, beautiful, but gentle diaphragmic breath there. And you can decide to look towards the right-hand side if your head allows it, head and neck. Once more, just settle into the pose and trust. Feel the part of you that feels almost on edge. This is yin. We find the edge, but we don't go beyond it. We don't overstretch. We don't overstrain to avoid injuries. So please, if it's difficult for you to grab your foot with your hand, take your strap, take your scarf, or fully let go if that's not pleasant. Just don't try to have a tail to the cat. Stay in a pose. That's a beautiful pose to be in. Breathing in a space that can be that are open. Beautiful. And then big breath in. Exhale through the mouth once more to allow us to transition to the other side. So releasing the back foot, removing the strap if you were using one, bending the knees of the front of the right foot. Oh yeah, so to right, sorry. And then coming back to a flat. Giving yourself a chance here to realign into a quick rebound pose. Feeling, sensing the pull in the body of, what the pose brought, those fascia lines that actually got um, extended, lengthened, stretched, feeling them, feeling possibly some throbbing. Beautiful. And then taking the block and your strap, okay? Placing the block this time on the right-hand side. Okay, this time we're going to shift our pelvis slightly to the left. It's a little hop. It's not a big hop, okay? Right leg is going to stay down on the floor for the moment. I pick my left knee and then gently I'm going to go across to find the support of my block, okay? So here I decide, do I need one block? Do I need two blocks to support my legs? Do I need a bolster? Okay, and then decide whether you want the leg nice and long or keep the knees bent. Both are okay, all right? And then you take the bottom legs, and then you bend the knees, and then you go and grab the foot, or once more, you take your strap and you hold your foot via the strap. Should you use a strap, please don't tighten the hold, okay? You just hold. You don't grip, you don't grasp, you just hold. Okay, so there is no tension being built into the body. And then we're going to be there for another 3 minutes. You can decide whether your head wants to turn left for a deeper twist, or look at the ceiling, or look towards your right hand. Whatever you decide, just trust. that is the good pose and that you are not applying your mind onto the pose. So don't force anything. And then re-enter the breath cycle. Breathing in, expanding the belly, noticing where the breath can flow in and where it cannot go. Settling down, finding your rhythm. Holding on to the foot. Releasing the jaws. Releasing the worries. So when the spleen is balanced, all of our body cycles are balanced. We sleep well, we digest well, and so forth. And we have clarity of mind. Beautiful. Keep breathing in and out. And should your mind be playing with you here, oh, I want to get off the pose, I want to move, just go back to the breath, go back to the body. Going to take a big breath in. Exhale through the mouth. And one more. Exhaling through the mouth again. And releasing the back foot first. Bring it nice and long, freeing yourself from the strap. And then taking yourself back, nice and flat onto the back. Oh, and feeling the benefit of the pose, rebalancing, realigning the body there into the rebound pose. Arms by your side. And simply releasing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Again, to pick up both knees, hug the knees into the chest, pull to the side. Okay. We're going to sit briefly into a little fold forward. Okay. So here in the fold forward, should you have a bolster, use your bolster. So I know Mary has a bolster. Okay. So your fold forward could be here, it can be further down, and it can be all the way down. It's up to you to know, and you can obviously put it on blocks. Should you not have a bolster, you have your block. Okay, so your block can be very useful. Okay, and you can just place them. So let's say tall setting and a medium setting, and then you can still put your hands and arms on them. Okay, so you open your legs and you fall into the pose. In yin, we're never trying to overstretch, okay? We just invite the stretch. When we stay long for a long time in the pose, then the body unfolds. But for the moment, we're just going to be there for a couple of minutes. And breathing into the back here. Breathing into the neck. into the back of the head, feeling the fascia line here, feeling all the connective tissue. And through breath, hydrating them. Through blood, feeding them. And then coming into your legs and breathing through the sole of your feet, breathing into the one leg, breathing in the second leg, coming into your pelvis, rising through the spine, into the bone, the big bone of the vertebrae, exiting through the crown of your head. Big breath in and exhale through the mouth. Once more, big breath in and exhaling through the mouth. And gently picking yourself up and rising to a seated pose. The next pose is our last one. It's maybe maybe a bit of a tricky one to explain on online like this. We'll try. So we're going to take two blocks, and the blocks is going to be in the shape of T. The top block will be to rest my head on. The bottom blocks, okay, will be to rest my back, my spine, okay? So this pose is called half saddle. So let me show you. Saddle is when your one of your legs come behind you, okay? And when it comes behind you, you step away your calf muscle from the thigh, okay? Your foot, your toes are pointing out because we don't want to hurt the knee, okay? So this is the primary thing to say and to remember in saddle pose. Should you be able to have a saddle pose the way I do, okay? Your toes are pointing behind, not to the side. Don't let the foot go to the side so it doesn't twist the knee, okay? So that's a half saddle. And on the other side, we're going to have a half butterfly, okay? So this pose. But this pose then is going to be reclined, okay? So should you have any issues with knees, with hips, to go down low might be too much, so you could come and recline using your arm, okay? So you use your arm, not your muscle. So you are on your big bone again. You're resting on your bone, okay? Right, let's go down and try to introduce it to, so the first thing we're going to do is actually come into the saddle pose on the right side. And once we have the saddle pose, we're just going to come and rest, find a block, and then the other block for my head. Okay, take time here to adjust. That's quite a big pose to be on, okay? And then you pick up the opposite foot and you walk it towards, yes, the legs. And here, once you have your organized, you take your ring finger and your thumbs and we go back to the earth mudra. And we go back, connect back to the earth seal. Okay, so all the other fingers are nice and long. And be here. We're going to be here for a couple of minutes, breathing in and out through the nose and inviting, if possible, the 4 parts breath. So the reason this pose is gorgeous actually is because by doing a half saddle and a half butterfly, you're actually working both meridians at the same time. Breathing into the belly. And here, the choice again is to exhale through the mouth should you wish to, or going back to the 4-part breath. Inhaling nice and long for 4, pausing for 2, exhaling for 4, pausing for 2. Keeping your earth seal. And of course, when we do the replay of this class, you can stay in those poses for as long as 5, 7 minutes, all the way actually to 15 minutes in a pose. Taking the next breath in, nice and deep and lovely and gentle through the nose. Exhaling, releasing all that is not serving us any longer as we exhale through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose and letting go of what's no longer ours through the mouth. Beautiful. To come out of the pose, we're going to bring chin to chest, find our elbow and forearms, then our hands, and push ourselves back up. Okay? If that is too difficult for you, you can always let go, releasing one leg down, then rolling to the side, removing the saddle pose, fold to the side and come up. Okay, so finding your strategy to come up. Sit down into the stick pose, both legs together, align, spine align. We are realigning the whole of the body, central body there. You can decide to bend your knees and give yourself a gentle hug with the head dropping. It's gorgeous here. And you're going to find your fascia line lengthening. Beautiful. And then we need to walk the opposite side. So the left leg this time is going to be in saddle. So remember, you can stay as on your arm and shoulder support, nice and strong, without using your muscle, just the bone, okay, structure of the bones, or you can recline. So if you want to put your legs down, put the saddle pose legs first, and then we do the butterfly, okay? So going down onto the block. So the block is pretty much where my bra strap begins, okay? And then my head. Okay, then I organize. I take my left knee and grab my shin, grab my ankle, and gently drop my saddle. That could be another way to do it. Remembering your toes are not pointing out, mind the knee. And then picking up the opposite leg and falling to the side. Okay, so noticing how comfortable you are in the pose, making yourself very comfortable. If this is too low, please come back up. Taking your ring finger and your thumb, creating that earth mudra, amplifying the energy and the intention to be with the earth element, to feel the connectedness, the groundedness, which can be translated within us into a deep, calm, nurturing presence deep into the core of our bones. Meeting our marrow, meeting our bone marrow, meeting our cerebral spinal fluid in the heart of our vertebrae. Breathing in and out, feeding our whole system. And clenching the teeth, relaxing the tongue. The tongue can rest at the bottom of your mouth, or the tip of your tongue can meet the roof of your mouth just behind your upper teeth. Feeling ease, breathing ease. Deepening your breath, lengthening your breath. And then big breath in, exhaling through the mouth. Once more, big breath in and exhaling through the mouth. And deciding how you're going to come out of the pose. So you could free yourself by rolling a bit to the right side to free the saddle pose leg first, the half saddle. Okay. And then coming chin to chest, onto your elbows, forearms, and pushing yourself. And then before going anywhere else, falling back into a forward fold. Okay, knees bent this time. Your legs, you don't have to open the legs. It's just about realigning the spine here. So I've used two blocks again. And I really allow my head to dangle. So I beautiful feel a stretch and an opening from the tailbone through the spine of this all the way to the top of my head. And I breathe into that space. I breathe into the back body. I breathe into the back of my head. Inhale and exhale through the mouth. And if you have a bit of time, just coming into your Shavasana, which is a longer rebound pose. Okay, arms by your side, legs down or knees bent as you wish. Okay, I know I'm constrained here by the time, so I won't be able to invite you to go into a Shavasana unless you want to do so. I'm going to close the recording and we can share uh, after.